So we'll hop right into the first thing, which is the news that came out yesterday morning about 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the Pittsburgh Steelers did officially relieve Matt Canada of his offensive coordinator duties, or commonly known as fire. All right, we did get the boss man, Mike Tomlin, speaking a couple hours after that, where he basically said that the decision was his and his alone.
Do you believe it?
I do, yeah. Why not?
Well, there was another report that came out from Dulac
Uh-huh.
around that 9 a.m. time
Yeah.
that said Art Rooney II fired Matt Canada.
Okay.
But
I mean, technically, he is the one who signs off on, like,
sure.
yeah, but it's like, yo, it's
No,
still
I'm
coming
with you.
from
After
yeah.
hearing all of Tomlin's responses, I'm like 70% sure it was his decision and his decision only. Now, was
The
Art,
boss man still has to be aware
well,
of it.
yeah,
Though.
I was gonna say,
Let's not get that confused either.
Yeah, was Art Rooney the
Right.
one that was going to hold it back? No, I
You know
think
what I'm
he
saying?
was also okay with firing him. But
Yeah.
based off his responses, Tomlin was like, when you get there, you get there.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm
we
seeing
just know.
things.
Yeah, he was like, you just know. You do it long enough, you just know.
Yeah, so that made me,
Yeah.
like truly believe, I do think this was a Tomlin decision, not a Rooney decision. Telling
forced Tomlin, right?
Right.
Yeah. Almost like the reverse of when we went and got Flores. When Coach Tomlin was like, yo, I want Flores. So he went up to and was like, yo, we want this guy. It wasn't Mr. Rooney calling him and saying, yo, bring this dude in. So it's like, nah. And I'm with you. Based on what he was saying and how he was communicating it, definitely felt like it was coming from Coach T. I was like, yeah, the way he was talking about it, and even to the point where he said that he usually tries to shield those guys, right? Protect them, take all the blame. He's like, nah, I mean, in this situation, that's not it. So I was like, all right, I could definitely dig that. But it was historic, man. Like you talked about, we have never seen this. I think since 1941, we have never had a coach that's been in play by the Pittsburgh Steelers to be fired. So, yeah, definitely mind-blowing, man. But at the same time, I get it. I can understand it. And I do like the move, man. Because when we talk about the standard being the standard, right, we obviously know it's a lot of nuance with it. But as a whole, if we're saying that, we're either getting better or you're getting worse, when we're going down the list of all the different variables, these are the things that you got to realize or look back on and be more critical of. And in terms of order of operations, you can't go first round quarterback before you go young, inexperienced coordinator. So it's like, man,
who hasn't proven much as a whole.
Either way, because you can make case with both of them, right? We talked about on Monday how people were literally in here hollering about Mason Rudolph potentially, taking over. So we know with both of them, it's been, not the best. So in terms of order of operations, Canada, you're the first head to go. Makes sense. Now we got to see what my man could do here. I like it for him. At the same time, I think it's going to be a little bit challenging on him as well. But this is the reality of it. But at the same time, like I said, I could definitely understand why they would make the move, though, man.
Yeah, I wanted it at the bye.
The timing is weird. They said he showed up to work on Tuesday morning, too.
Yeah, looked like Jamal Adams then, huh?
No, so this is my thing, though. It's like the timing of it in the sense of even if you were going to do it, usually you do it on a Sunday. Your game prep starts on Sunday night, Monday.
Or at least Monday.
You catch my drift? So I'm like, dang, we had a whole game prep or started a game week, and now we get to the Tuesday. And it's like, yo, the time
His
is
key
just...
pass wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, it's like, yo, this is crazy. But respect, though, man.
Yeah, we obviously took a step back in that Browns game. As I said, I wanted the firing done at the bye. I really liked how the offense looked end of 2022. That's why I thought we should give Canada another chance.
Mm-hmm.
But based off his body of work for those first 2 years, I was like, you know what, he's on thin ice. And after seeing how we played those first 5 weeks as an offense, I thought firing Canada would have been more than warranted at the bye. And a bye week makes sense for that.
100%.
We didn't. To Canada's credit, to the offense's credit, I do think we improved the next 3-4 weeks and then took a step back against the Browns. And I don't think some of the mishaps, I've said it multiple times, weren't on Canada in those first 3-4 week stretches that we had. Like, we definitely left points out on the table as an offense. I thought it was more of a player thing. You could talk about Kenny missing passes, Deontay dropping a couple passes, Pickens not getting a toe tap, et cetera, right? But I guess, like Tomlin said in his press conference, the improvements, the change wasn't enough, though, still.
And he also brought up this past game, too. He did say that, this last game did have some weighing on it. And we both talked about that, too, when we were like, yo, we could easily make it a Kenny then, but we were also critical of certain things schematically. For me specifically, we're talking about just the formation of how we were releasing our running backs on screen plays throughout the inside of the line while blitzes were coming, and not really having that on the same page. And we really never adjusted it as the game went on. Whereas versus Green Bay, we did talk about how we could see the Deontay Johnson quick screens. We could see the Jalen Warren fast to the flats, or even in the sense of the usage, right? Division of labor between Najee and Jalen Warren. That was part of the thing that we were critical of also in this past game. Like, why is it still this type of divide, so to speak, in terms of their usage? But all of that goes into it. All of that is a part of it. And to me, I just like the fact that with this type of move, was I for it? Y'all know I was not for it when we talked about it the other day, because to me, I'm like, this is another form of chaos now that we're about to have to deal with, correct? In terms of you're going to have new OC, new play caller, working at the same time in the middle of the week with Matt Canada's playbook, though. And we still got Kenny, who we're still trying to figure out what he is in his evaluation. How is he going to handle the pressure now? Because you've lost another excuse now, right? At least we kind of had that like shield, so to speak. If anything went bad, we could always point there or to the sideline. Whereas now it's like, that's another element. So for me, I was not big on it prior to it happening. But now I do feel like the messaging is really clear from Coach Tomlin all throughout this team that we're not wasting TJ Watt's time. We're not going to waste Minka Fitzpatrick time. We're not going to waste any of these dudes' time that we feel deserve to go on a run. And when you make this type of move at this junction of the season, I think you letting everybody in that building know nobody's no longer above reproach, because historically speaking, the coaches have been in season the safest people, right? They never get fired.
And Matt Canada
Think
has
about
that
it.
connection to Tom, the personal connection.
Yeah, so it's like, that was the guy we deemed like, you're bulletproof. Even if we don't think it's warranted, we still view you as untouchable to an extent in season. We thought it was going to be the whole, they just don't renew his contract once season's over like we typically see. So with that, it does look like they're saying to themselves, like, look, man, what we have been seeing, we're not okay with. And that's another thing that I do like, because it's like, it's aggressive. I don't want to say it's a full-on panic move, but you're definitely showing that, we have heightened up that sense of urgency, so to speak, within the building for this season. And I do like that.
Yeah, and I think it did take this Browns game for Tomlin to pull the trigger, because you're just seeing too much. And I think this last Sunday was the culmination of it, where the players aren't really buying in anymore. Like the body language, the stuff that Najee was saying, Pickett talking about we got to make quicker adjustments afterwards. Deontay outburst on the sideline, some of Pickens stuff on social media. It's just something's got to give. Something's got to give. And again, it's not all on Matt Canada, but I think it's just got to the point that there was just a constant buildup over the last year and a half, 2 years of him running the offense, where the players are just maybe questioning the schemes or questioning what Canada's putting them out there to do, and be like, man, really? Like, really? I think the morale hit a low, and Tomlin had to do something about it.
We're going to see.
Whether
now,
it's right or wrong. Like I said, is it all on Canada or not? Like I said, over those 3-4 weeks after the bye, Kenny missed some throws. Players missed some plays, like as a whole on offense.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the Browns game, taking that step back like we did, and I truly do think the play calling was maybe one of Canada's worst. They just think it hit a breaking point.
Yeah. About to say, so yeah, this is interesting now as we go forward. Now we know with Mike Sullivan, who will be taking over the play calling duties, he did do that when he was with the Giants, and it was Buccaneers. That's what it was. Yeah.
He had a good season with the Bucs. Top 10 offense with Josh Freeman.
Shout out, man. And then obviously we know in terms of Eddie Faulkner, he'll take over the offensive coordinator duties.
Yeah,
so,
how's this gonna work?
So the way it works is this: Eddie Faulkner does no. So once again, when you laugh at this, is what we talk about though in terms of the variables. When you fire a coordinator or a coach in season, this is the trickle down effect. It still doesn't take the expectations or the pressure off of Kenny to perform. You just add another variable that is a little bit different. That's all. So the way it works is Eddie Faulkner does all of your game planning, all of the preparation for the calls for the scheme throughout the week. Get on game day, he turns all that over to Sully, Mike Sullivan is making the calls as the game is going on, bro. Mike Sullivan is still the quarterback's coach as well as the play caller. Eddie Faulkner is still the running backs coach as well as the offensive coordinator. So you don't add another person, you just add more workload to the people that are already there. So that's where we're at now in terms of the logistics of it. But from my understanding, they both should still be on the sideline because I believe it was Glenn Thomas. I was drawing a blank on my man's last name.
Yeah, that was the guy a lot of people thought was going to be Canada's replacement.
Right, but they're saying he's still in the booth, though, in terms of the eyes. Okay. So logistically... What's he,
like an offensive assistant or something?
Yeah, but when Canada came down to the sideline, that was the logistics of that. So they're saying that should still be the same way. But now, in terms of Sully doing the game day calling, that's how to work. But Eddie Faulkner will put together the actual game plan throughout the week.
All right.
Like I said, it's going to be unique, man. It'll definitely be unique.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Excited about it.
Heck yeah. Now, for me, man, I think we will see more running because if the OC is the running backs coach, what have we been saying has been a strength this year and of lately, the running game. So I do think we will see more of that in terms of the division of labor. I don't know what that's going to look like because we obviously talked about Nash as the first rounder and how he's been feeling and more vocal about it. You even highlighted it yourself. And now his position coach is the coordinator. I don't know how that works. Along with Jalen Warren, who we know undrafted, but has been the more productive of the two running backs, regardless of scheme. We said it, man. 74-yard run. It wasn't a special call. It was just a special player. I don't know what that looks like either. I do think we will lean more on running game, though, because of the fact that, position coach is the coordinator. But in terms of in-game calls with Sullivan, I don't know. Does he lean on, hey, this is my player because this is my position coach? I mean, in terms of, him being the QB coach as well. So does he put the ball in Kenny's hands more potentially? Or does he guard him and take it out of his hands more? We won't know that officially, obviously, until the game. But those are some of the things from a thought process standpoint that I'm interested to see play out come Sunday.
Yeah, I think the thing that gets me hyped is there's definitely going to be a lot more ownership and accountability on the players because I'm assuming you got Sullivan and you got Faulkner. Like they're stepping into these like upgraded rules for themselves. I'm sure they're going to be taking on some of the players' perspective and asking them like, what do you think we should do? I mean, we just fired the head guy. Obviously, some of the body language and what's been going on has been off recently. Like, how can we make this work like all together?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about. Like this is one of those things where I think Kenny's gonna have to step up. Najee, running, whoever it is, you guys are gonna have to step up and
the leaders of the team.
Yeah, figure out something that's gonna work now going forward.
Yeah.
As a unit, because obviously what was happening wasn't working. Like I would like to see Pickens being moved around a lot more. I'd like to see us target in the middle of the field and Freiermuth a lot more.
Yeah.
Running plays that aren't as predictable when we have Najee out there. You know, I mean, there's just like little things that add up. It's like, okay, can we get all this? Can we hit the check marks here?